everyone, welcome back to The Learning Gardener. It is the end of another piping hot day in this Australian summer, and it is still very, very humid, but we are picking up where we left off yesterday. We harvested a whole bed of Nicola potatoes from here yesterday, and we unearthed one very late to the game dahlia. It also got squashed by my dog Birdie, and it got relocated, and then it got torched today. So it's not looking great, but I've got a whole bunch of compost and cow manure behind me. We mixed in some chicken poop pellets yesterday, but we're going to add this to top up the soil level in the bed because it has dropped, but also to put a lot more nutrients in the ground because I want to get this bed ready for the seedlings, which you can hopefully see behind me. We have got kohlrabi, which I have never grown before. We've got Italian sprouting broccoli and a regular broccoli, and broccoli is a heavy feeder. Sorry about the kookaburras in the background, but we're going to be filling this bed up. God, they're really going for it. We're going to be filling this bed up with a bit more nutrients. We're going to be adding some blood and bone fertilizer and some slow release fertilizer, and then we're going to be popping all of those things in. The other thing that we're going to be popping in here is some sunflowers. One of you guys commented on a recent video that sunflowers are associated sometimes with someone you've lost, and you recommended that I plant one for my boy Ollie, who was stillborn 3 months ago. So I was going to plant some for Ollie, and then just an hour ago we lost Marley Sue, my mum's dog. And so it's, been a real period of loss this last 3 months for my family. It's been very, very difficult. And Marley Sue was a bloody good dog. We got her when she was 6 or 7, and she was 2 months shy of 15. And this morning she didn't eat all of her turkey broth or her breakfast after being unwell and struggling with her arthritis for a week. And if you've ever met Marley Sue, and if you've watched our videos before, you'll know that Marley Sue is the dog that quietly potters through this garden, and even though she had mobility issues, having been hit by a car before we got her, she was willing to climb into these beds to find the blood and bone fertilizer to eat it. She was willing to eat rocks if that was all that was going. So the fact that Marley Sue didn't want to eat all of her breakfast this morning was the sign. So we're going to be planting some sunflowers for Marley Sue and for Ollie. The other thing we're going to be doing in the garden today, as I attempt to retreat into the garden once again to gather my emotions, is we're going to be planting a second batch, hi buddy, of corn here. This is a frame that is an extension of my strawberry and blueberry frame that my dad did just after I lost Ollie. And we've already harvested one batch of corn, and we've got a second batch of corn that we're going to try and pop in. Ideally I should have started the seedlings earlier, but my brain's not working all that well, and it didn't occur to me until I drove past some local cornfields and saw that they had some very little corn, and I thought, maybe I could have a second batch of corn. So the corn seedlings have actually taken off like a rocket, so we're going to pop them in and hope that they can continue to take off like a rocket. I probably should take these ones out, but to be honest, I can't be bothered. I'm just going to leave them. Like, there's some things where you're just like, it's too hard. So we're just going to scatter in the new cord seedlings, and we have got, what are we in? It's like something like February 2nd now. So this is our last month of summer. Sometimes March is very hot for us. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We're going to experiment, but it's definitely made me think that next season something I'm going to do is start a batch of corn seedlings maybe halfway through, hi bud, halfway through summer, so that we can perhaps do this a little bit earlier and maybe get a second batch of corn. It has to go in this enclosure because we back onto the bush, and you're not outside all night hunting for bush rats, are you, Poppet? And the bush rats, the second the corn starts to come in, we lose it. So it has to be in this enclosure. This was successful. I need to tweak it for next season, but for now it'll do. What do you think, Ref? Should we get to planting? We get to planting, my beautiful boy. Hi, big boy. Oh, Pippi does need a cuddle. Pippi does need a cuddle. I do need a stick too, thanks, Reffy. Oh, thanks, Bud. You're my self-appointed emotional support companion, aren't you, bird? Good girl. If you guys have watched a number of my previous videos, you will know that really since this time last year, we've had a lot of trouble with seedlings. The first lot that I sowed for the cooler season towards the end of summer last year was just getting going, and then we had something like 1.3 meters of rain in 8 or 9 weeks, and we full on flooded. And then after it flooded, it didn't rain for at least 3 or 4 months at all. And March, which can sometimes be an extension of summer for us, the first week or so was absurdly hot, and then it went really uncharacteristically cold very quickly. So we basically had a really long winter season. So my second batch of seedlings were affected by that, and bandicoots coming up onto the deck to eat the seeds. And then I think after that it was too cold to get seeds started, and I don't have an internal system with grow lights. Although I did try some Timu grow lights towards the end of winter with debatable levels of success. They germinated, but that's about all they did. And then after that, I just couldn't get seedlings started. Couldn't get seedlings started in spring. Couldn't get seedlings started in early summer. And I'm talking even zucchini and marigolds and calendula. Couldn't get them started. So that was the sign that there was some sort of trouble, because normally starting marigolds, starting calendula, it's like the easiest thing you could do in the garden. So in the end, what I actually did was completely switch up brands, and since then, please don't eat cow poo, it's not good for your tummy. Since then, we've had great luck with seedlings. Some of that is that the weather has been a bit more, don't eat the poo, has been a bit more consistent, but I think a lot of it is there was obviously some problem with the seed raising mix that I was using. So we're not going back to that old seed raising mix. We're just onwards and upwards, and hopefully, because I'm at home more than normal this season, we will have cool season vegetables this year beyond just broad beans, because that's all we had last cool season. So as I mentioned before, adding these bags of compost and cow poop, I did add chicken manure. So now I'm just going to mix all this in together with the blood and bone and the slow release fertilizer. And I did also pre-wet the soil, because sometimes these beds can be really hard to get water in, which is why I use Oyas. I need to make some more because they're very expensive to buy, and the budget just doesn't extend that far. So we have pre-moistened the soil, and then obviously once I've planted everything, I will hose it down again and then put mulch on, and hopefully that gets us off to a good start. But first we've got to get everything mixed in and level, and then we can get planting. So everything's planted up now. We've got, right in front of me, we've got some regular broccoli. Now these seedlings are really tiny, but as I've said a couple of times, I had a lot of trouble getting broccoli seedlings to do anything in the last 12 months. And I planted some that were smaller than this and they turned into actual broccolis. Whereas if I left them in the seedling trays, they just stayed the exact same size. So I figured I'm just going to chuck them in, and if they don't survive the heat that we have forecast over the next week, then that's fine. There's still more in the seedling tray. But if I can get them to get going earlier, then that's what I would rather do. So we've got a little patch of about 4 or 5 broccolis here. We've got 4 or 5 kohlrabis here, Cinderella peach zinnias here. We've got some 3 borage plants, however you say it. I've never grown borage before. My understanding is that it's a beautiful blue cut flower that the bees love. And obviously I have become old because I've become obsessed with bees, and we've had a whole stack of native bees turn up in the garden on a regular basis that I've never ever seen before. I didn't even know existed, and now I'm seeing blue-banded bees and teddy bear bees every day, and yesterday we saw a little fuzzy baby one, which was so lovely. So I want to plant things that are going to make my bees happy, and hopefully they will like borage. I've got some Italian sprouting broccoli here, which is really nice. It kind of gives you like broccolini, which is awesome. Love broccolini. And then I have just 2 rows of leeks here. So I'm just going to get everything mulched up, and then we're going to get the corn in. I forgot to mention is we've got a row of about 6 giant sunflowers. So hopefully they will do well too and be a beautiful show of color, and the bees absolutely go nuts for the sunflowers. So that should be nice too.
Come on, baby, take a leap of faith. We got a love that's worth the wait.
So I've got my corn seedlings, and they really have grown so much in this heat in the last week. We did, when we cleared out the corn, add some chicken poo pellets, and we topped up the soil. I had some mushroom compost, some compost that was homemade, and then I'm putting in slow release fertilizer. I can still see a few little pellets of slow release fertilizer from before, but I'm putting in quite a lot of blood and bone because I'm hoping that the blood and bone is going to break down a little bit faster for the corn, and therefore encourage the corn to take off like a rocket. But I'm hoping that the extra blood and bone is just going to help this corn take off and get going to make the most of this second chance. Thankfully it is going to be pretty warm for the next couple of days, so hopefully that will give this corn also a chance to get going. Now, I mean, I've got no evidence that that corn broke off. I've got no evidence that blood and bone is absorbed faster, although I would assume it would be because it is a powdered form of fertilizer rather than a sort of pelletized form. So what I will do is tomorrow I will make up a little bit of liquid fertilizer to also try and help this corn get going. But tonight I'm just gonna water it in because it's already 8 o'clock and I haven't had dinner and it's been a long day, so there's only so much I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna do the first part of the bed and then move the mulch back in, and then I'll remove the mulch from the back half of the bed, spread some more fertilizer, pop the corn that I have in, and then we'll fertilize it a bit more tomorrow. If you guys have ever tried to do a late corn sowing or a second sowing, do let me know below in the comments if I can hold out hope that this might actually work. Fingers crossed it will, because I wouldn't mind some more corn. I really love corn on the cob, but there's only so much corn one person can get through in the time that it remains fresh in the fridge. So I did freeze the rest of it, and hopefully we'll use it in some recipes, and at least that way we've got some beautiful homegrown nutrition of waiting for us in the freezer. I'd like a little bit more, but I think we got something like 34 ears of corn from this bed, which I was really happy with because I've never got any corn before. I always lose it to the bush rats. So I'd love to see if we can squeeze in one more harvest. I don't know if we'll be able to, but worth a try. What have we got to lose at this point? So all things considered, getting 2 beds amended, fertilized and planted up and mulched and watered was quite an achievement for today. I'm sorry, I'm such an emotional wreck on this channel lately, but it has been a very, very, very hard few months. It's been by far the worst time of my life, by far. And I don't know what to say, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I appreciate everybody's been so kind in the comments and making lovely suggestions like planting sunflowers for Ollie. It's been difficult, and I feel like I have emotional whiplash. Yesterday I was super pumped and excited because we got to the point of being able to cross 1,000 subscribers, which means I can start to monetize this channel, which gets me a step closer to my goal of being able to work from home and work in my garden. So again, thank you so much for everybody's recent comments and subscriptions and likes and everything, because it's really helped the channel grow and it's helped other people find the channel, which I really appreciate. So again, sorry I'm a mess, but this is my life. It's messy. But thanks so much for hanging out with us, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one, and hopefully soon we'll have some more corn.